Putting sunscreen on small children is a challenge at the best of times, but for 4-year-old Mac Debblejack and his 2-year-old brother Giles, it's a daily ritual they'll have to get used to for the rest of their lives, even on cloudy days.
I guess for us it's just a constant, glasses on, not breaking your glasses.
Get the hats.
Sunscreen 2 or 3 times a day, hats, long sleeves, long pants. We've made some modifications to our house to help with the glare. When Mac was born and put into my arms, my first thought was, wow, I've got an albino. I used that term at that point in time because he was just strikingly silver, white, fair. And then he opened his eyes and they were blue, and I thought, oh, no, he's not, he's got blue eyes, he can't be an albino. And didn't articulate that thought to Simon or to any of the healthcare professionals. And then 2 years later, we got a diagnosis. I thought, oh, that's exactly what I thought when he was first born.
Albinism is a genetic condition whereby the body makes less melanin than normal, and melanin is the pigment that gives colour to our hair and to our skin. And melanin is also really important for the normal development of the vision pathways.
Are you ready to catch Mac and Mummy? Neither Julie nor I have albinism, but it's a recessive genetic condition, so it's on her genes and on mine.
We're both carriers.
Yeah, but there was no family history, so it wasn't anything that we expected at all. But then once you have it, then it's a 1 in 4 chance every time you have kids.
It wasn't until Mac Debblejack was nearly 2 years old that he was finally diagnosed with albinism after a maternal health nurse noticed unusual eye movement. He had to wear a patch for 7 hours a day to save his sight in one eye.
If I see you in the park and you've got really blonde kids, I'm more than likely going to come and say to you, oh, my children have albinism. Do yours?
It's a stigma. I think it's a disability. People don't want to. If you're a bit borderline or you can get away with it, people think, I don't want to even know about it myself.
She doesn't.
The stigma associated with being an albino, or a person with albinism as they prefer to be known, is not helped by popular culture.
The reason why albinism is so poorly understood in the community is thanks a lot to popular media and popular culture, particularly with Hollywood. There's been over 60 movies that have been produced where the person with albinism is cast as the evil albino. You think of The Matrix Reloaded, The Da Vinci Code, and on and on and on it goes. So that evil albino stereotype has been propagated through Hollywood, which doesn't help with the general understanding of the condition.
But reality is a long way from Hollywood. An estimated 17,000 Australians have albinism, and their main disability is vision impairment. But with modern aids, there is no reason why they can't lead normal lives. However, if you're born with no pigment in the harsh environment of the Democratic Republic of Congo, life is not so easy. Now living in Hobart, African refugee Muzaliwa Kazomi says he had no money for sun protection and his skin suffered terribly as a result.
The black people were laughing me a lot and telling me that I will never get married, and I'm not better like them. I looked like a pig.
Not only was Muzaliwa Kazomi treated as a non-person, he often feared for his life.
I worried because they were coming to me with scissors to cut my hair by force. Why were they coming to me and with scissors to cut my hair? Why?
Sydney-based doctor Shari Parker also has albinism and managed to gain a medical degree despite being legally blind. She met Muzaliwa Kazomi through the Albinism Fellowship of Australia. She was horrified to learn that there have been 30 brutal albinism murders reported in Tanzania in recent years. As well as the murders, limbs have also been severed from children, as the body parts are highly prized by witch doctors who believe the bones have magical properties.
Over there's the belief that a person with albinism, their skin tissues, their hair, their bones, when ground up and made into potions by the witch doctor, can bring good health and good fortune. That really just has sent an earthquake through the Albinism Fellowship of Australia. It just breaks our hearts that our brothers and sisters with albinism living in Africa are treated in such a way purely because they look different. It's just awful. I bawled my eyes out for hours and hours after seeing it.
The Albinism Fellowship of Australia wanted to help in a practical way. They have launched a national campaign to gather donations of hats, sunglasses and sunscreen. Transport companies have offered to ship the goods to Africa for free.
We just said to ourselves, well, there's a horror story going on here with murders, but we can do something about getting them sun protection, and that's something in Australia everyone understands. We've got enough stuff probably to help about 1,000 or 1,500 people with albinism. Now, in Tanzania alone, there are 200,000 people with albinism.
Since coming to Australia 2 years ago, Muzaliwa Kazomi has been lobbying hard to get support for his sister. She also has albinism and lives in a refugee camp in Tanzania.
She's in a really bad situation, you know, but there are many people who are looking for them, for her, and to cut her by force and take her away to do whatever they like.
Late last week, Muzaliwa Kazomi and his wife Shirikuru Kazoni finally received some welcome news. The Department of Immigration confirmed that Tubalika Biamungu's Australian visa application has finally been approved on humanitarian grounds.
Albino people also have a right to live like other people because they have a breath like other people. Everyone has the right to live like others.